I wasn't able to successfully end my analysis paralysis until I finally understood how the law of detachment actually works. And I finally understood how to actually implement it in my life. And a lot of people talk about the law of detachment and how great it is to accomplish your goals, and how it's like the only method you can use to be able to actually get your goal and make it actually come true. But here's the thing, is nobody ever actually explains how to use it properly so you can get what you want out of this life. And if you want to finally end your laziness, you want to finally stop losing your motivation, and you want to feel like you actually have a goal to strive for every single day that's not a waste of time, then keep watching this video. But if that's not you, then go ahead and find something else to watch and enjoy your day. I hope you have a good one. But for the rest of you that are still here, that have stayed, I want to talk to you for a little bit. So thank you for staying, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kieran Gambrell. I am 22 years old, and I'm an online fitness coach / mentor. I work with my guys one-on-one so that they can finally achieve not just their dream physique, but that dream life that they want to. But for those of you who can't afford my one-on-one coaching, that's why I make these YouTube videos free, so that you can still learn to do all the things that I do and that I teach, just without the direct implementation for your exact situation. But no matter what I want to talk about in this video applies to literally everybody. And it applies to everybody that is like me, at least. And something that I struggled with so much in the past, and it's not something that's completely gone yet, but because it still comes and goes occasionally, but I wasn't able to finally put down my anxiousness to rest and put down my loss of motivations to rest until I understood that when you're striving for a goal, it gets so easy to get lost in the sauce. It gets so easy to be working so hard and then the next day wonder what you're doing it all for, and if it's even one big wasted time. And then you start to get frustrated by how long it's taking to reach the goal and how many obstacles you have to overcome. And then you start to worry about the biggest problem, the biggest thing, the thing that I used to fear the most. What if I finally accomplish this goal? What if I cut all the way down? What if I shred down? Or what if I get that car I want? What if I make my business successful and it's not as good as I thought it was going to be? That used to be my number one fear. And not just for big goals, but for little things. What if I go and clean my room? What if I clean my car and I'm not happy? I wish I would have done and used my time with something else. But here's the thing. You never get bored of your accomplishments. Like you're never going to feel like your accomplishments were wasting time. And now it's good to have new goals all the time. And that's why personal development is extremely important, because it's an evergreen goal. You can always grow better and better and better. But when it comes to detaching from the outcome and detaching from your goals, you need to realize there's one thing that is extremely important. If you don't understand it, it's detrimental to being able to continue in life. And that's that when you come from a really difficult spot in life, when you come from your life being in shambles, or just not being happy with your life, or anything ever being messed up or broken, and then you fix it, you get that goal, you accomplish what you want, knowing where you came from is the exact thing that is going to keep that. It's the exact thing that's going to keep you forever grateful for your accomplishments. And you probably always hear the saying of don't forget where you came from. And it gets told by a lot of people, but most people that say it don't quite understand what it means. And it's not about forgetting where you came from, because that's disrespectful to others, and that doesn't mean to be disrespectful. I'm not saying that you should be disrespectful. But I'm saying you don't want to forget where you came from, because if you forget where you came from, you forget how big that goal was to you. and you lose grasp of how much it means to you, how great of an achievement that you made it. But when you remember and you constantly know that you came from somewhere that was so broken, a place where you hated yourself so much, like my situation where I had tried to off myself in the past. Coming from that spot where I was so broken and hated myself and hated my life so much, to where I have now, and where I am now, I am always so proud of myself for everything I have done. And I still have days where I'm down. And I still have days where I feel like I'm not doing enough. But when I remember how far I have come, I am always proud of myself. And I never regret going after a goal. I never regret going after something and failing. And I never regret going after something and succeeding. I just have to constantly remind myself where I came from. And it's not really that difficult to do. But when you get stuck in that analysis paralysis loop, where you're like, oh, what step do I take? I don't know what to do. I don't want to waste my time with this. Is that worth it? And then you get kind of lazy. You get demotivated. It's because you're forgetting where you came from. And it's because you're not realizing that once you achieve that goal, you're not going to forget where you came from. Because you are going to feel so proud of yourself. You are going to be so grateful, so thankful that you accomplished what you did. And so thankful that you never gave up. Because that goal is difficult. You have to put your blood, sweat, and tears into it. And when you do that, you never forget. You might forget for a day, for an hour, and that's the moments where you have to remind yourself. But as a whole, you don't forget. So you're not just, it's, maybe it's not that you're lazy. Maybe it's that you just fear success. Because I feel like I genuinely feared success. And that was the biggest thing holding me back. I feared moving forward because I feared that if I moved forward, I wasn't going to be as happy as I thought I would be. And I would still feel the same way. But that's not true. Because every time I have ever accomplished a goal, I've always been proud of myself. Anytime I've done anything. And it's like just looking back on moments where I've gotten cars that I really wanted. I've hit, physique goals that I really wanted. Where I dieted and stuck to my diet when I really didn't want to. During those moments, I was afraid that I was afraid of the success. And looking back on it now, I'm so glad I did it. And I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but it's like, I quote unquote don't know why I was afraid of the success. What I'm trying to get to is, when you move forward, you're going to be so thankful. You're going to be so glad that you did what you did. And it's going to be hard. And I know you probably know it's going to be hard. And I know you probably know that it's going to be a lot harder than you ever imagined. But you are going to be thankful in the end. And you're going to be so proud of yourself for what you have done. So don't ever forget that. Because you can do it. You can accomplish anything you put your mind to. If I can do it, so can you. I've done it, so I help other people do it. I want to see other people succeed. People will try to tear me down for that. People will hate on me. Say things that I'm not. But that's alright. Because I know who I am inside. And I know what I can accomplish. And I know what I have accomplished. And the real ones will understand me. And the ones that don't understand me, Well, they don't have to. Because, frankly, I don't really care if they understand me or not. Because if they don't want to understand me or they don't, then they're just not a like-minded person. And then I don't need to associate with them. And if you have friends that don't understand you, and like they're not like-minded, then it doesn't mean you have to be a douchebag to them. But you don't need to hang out with them. You don't owe anybody anything. The only person you owe something to is yourself. Yourself and your family, I guess. But the family that you create. The person you become. Take care of your wife. Take care of your children. If you're a woman watching this, take care of your husband. Be a good partner. Help others. And do what you have to do. It's getting pretty late. I've been just absolutely hyper focused on content as of lately, and my sleep has been suffering because of it, and that's not something I like to do. Sometimes you have to go in seasons where you get things done, and sleep is something that I no longer am willing to sacrifice like I used to be. I used to be willing to, because you're not just your muscles, but your central nervous system, your brain, everything needs sleep to recover. But just because you need sleep doesn't mean that you should give that as an excuse to not do something. Because it's really not. It's not that difficult to not give yourself excuses. All you have to do is do the thing. To make excuses, you have to think of a reason. You have to reason with yourself. By the time you're done reasoning with yourself, you typically could have already been done with a thing that you were debating on doing. And then you regret not doing it. Take some action. Make some change. It's time for you to shine.